You're watching Point TV, Channel 6.
The Unabomber case, a late development. The FBI finds what could be smoking gun evidence in the suspect's cabin. Also tonight, after the crash, Jessica Dubroff's mother answers a question many were asking today.
Do you have any regrets about letting her fly?
Of course not.
New York's infamous subway gunman on trial says the black teenager he left paralyzed deserved to die. And NASCAR legend Richard Petty driving to win again, this time a very different race.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
Good evening. Dan is on assignment tonight. I'm John Roberts. There is a major development in the Unabomber case. FBI agents searching the Montana cabin of prime suspect Theodore Kaczynski have found what could be a key piece of evidence. Correspondent Bill Whitaker is following the investigation and joins us now from the Montana State Capitol building in Helena. Bill?
John, the Associated Press is reporting that what appears to be the typed original of the Unabomber's 35,000-word manifesto has been found in the cabin of suspect Theodore Kaczynski. Now, this is potentially the most significant evidence pulled from his remote mountain hideaway. Agents have been combing through the cabin for 9 days now, and they have retrieved what they call a mountain of evidence: typewriters, maps, names, bomb-making materials, much of which is being analyzed in Washington, D.C. now. But nothing ties Kaczynski so closely to the crimes of the Unabomber as this manifesto. The Unabomber sent the rambling manifesto decrying modern technological society to the New York Times and the Washington Post last year, saying that he would stop the killing if they would print it. They did. And it now appears that it was the reading of the manifesto that convinced his brother David that Theodore Kaczynski may have had something to do with the Unabomber's murderous spree. John?
Bill Whitaker in Helena, Montana. Thanks. The mother of Jessica Dubroff took her 2 surviving children today to the Cheyenne, Wyoming crash site, where her 7-year-old daughter, her ex-husband, Jessica's father, and Jessica's flight instructor were all killed. Lisa Blair Hathaway defended the decision to let her daughter fly amid an outpouring of questions, criticisms, and a spontaneous memorial at the scene of yesterday's crash. Frank Courier is there to begin our coverage.
It's just to hit this incredible earth with their beautiful bodies.
Jessica Dubroff's mother today returned to the neighborhood in the crash scene where her 7-year-old daughter died while trying to become the youngest pilot ever to fly cross-country.
Not a single regret.
Not one.
In a memorial of fresh carnations and teddy bears, emotional neighbors who witnessed the tragedy looked on as Lisa Hathaway said she is in shock but not grieving.
Peace has not left me. Peace has not left me from before they took off to after they died. I have not gone out of state of peace. Be with what they call grief and just let it pass, and what will be there is peace. Grief is something we made up. Turn it over, Jess. We made it up.
Jessica's mother insists she never understood the meaning of fear, that in their final phone conversation just before takeoff, she seemed infatuated by the rain, which would later turn to a dangerous storm and then the fatal crash. With her father and flight instructor aboard, Jessica's single-engine Cessna plunged nose first into a neighborhood minutes from the Cheyenne airport. Safety board investigators are examining the wreckage today in Colorado.
It came down very fast from the sky.
Consoling with neighbors and witnesses who told her the plunge took but 2 seconds before the end, a grieving mother finds strength in her last goodbyes. Frank Courier, CBS News, Cheyenne, Wyoming.
In the California coastal town where Jessica Dubroff spent most of her 7 years, nobody seemed to doubt she was off on a great adventure.
She ran up to me and said she was ready to go.
She wasn't cocky about it or anything like that. It was just, well, I've been taking horseback riding lessons and I'm going to fly across the country.
When Jessica's flight began at this small airport Wednesday morning, the 7-year-old was hailed as adventurous and determined. Only now are people wondering whether admiring adults too easily forgot their responsibility to protect a little girl. Jessica told everyone flying across the country was exactly what she wanted to do. Her parents encouraged her all the way. But sometimes a parent's dreams can grow too fast, Sports writer Joan Ryan has seen it happen with the parents of child athletes.
Right. I mean, they get so wrapped up in the mission, whether it's an Olympic gold medal, whether it's flying across country, and they forget about the risk. They forget that this is just a kid.
Those who knew Jessica as a hometown hero added to her memorial today at the local airport.
Her father and the instructor and the little girl were all trying to prove something, and they had a mission, and unfortunately, some bad calls were made.
From Jessica's small-town airport to radio stations across the country, it was the topic of discussion today. Who should put limits on a little girl's dreams?
Isn't she a bit young?
Children should be allowed to express themselves.
It's often said about children who accomplish great things early. They give up their childhood, a childhood they'll never get back. John Blackstone, CBS News, Half Moon Bay, California.
Day 19 now of the standoff in Montana between the FBI and the anti-government Freemen. The two members of the group who surrendered yesterday were arraigned in court today. Ebert Stanton and his mother Agnes pleaded not guilty to fraud and conspiracy charges. Ebert was ordered held without bond. Agnes was released but must wear an electronic monitor. In New York today, courtroom echoes of another famous criminal case involving a defendant accused of imposing his own brand of justice. Jacqueline Adams has that story.
Racist vigilante, kook. In the 12 years since he shot 4 young black men he thought were trying to mug him, Bernard Goetz has been described as all those things. In court today, he showed why.
You decided you were going to, quote, kill them all, murder them all, do anything.
I snapped.
Goetz didn't take the stand in his criminal trial, but he had to testify in this $50 million civil suit filed against him by Darrell Cady. The young man was paralyzed and apparently suffered irreversible brain damage in the shooting.
You think after what you did to him, he might become a great thinker?
He might.
And you also think it would have been a lot better had Shirley Cady had an abortion, isn't that right?
It would probably be better than the present status quo we have today.
Goetz testified that twice before the Cady shooting, he had pulled his gun to scare off men whom he saw as threatening. One of them, a seemingly drug-crazed panhandler.
By the way, he was a white guy, if that would interest you. Excuse me, Judge.
And you also said he deserved to die. Did you not?
Well...
Excuse me, Mr. Goetz. Did you also say that he deserved to die?
Well, he was acting like such an asshole. I did say that, and I felt it at the time.
And why did he deserve to die, Mr. Goetz?
Because he was acting like a total asshole.
And in your view, people that you perceive to be assholes should be killed?
Well, in many cases, it might make the world a better place.
Cady's attorney has asked the black and Hispanic jury to, quote, punish Goetz for his racially motivated violence. Today, Goetz repeated the racial slurs he'd used long before the shooting at a tenants meeting.
I said, the only way we're going to clean up this street is to get rid of the niggers and the specks.
Both inside and outside court, Goetz was unflappable.
There's no nice way to shoot people, and shooting is rather ugly.
And it's no wonder Goetz seems so calm. For all the talk of racism and victims, this trial is supposed to be about money. And Goetz, a part-time freelance electrical consultant, doesn't have any. Jacqueline Adams, CBS News, New York.
Still to come on the CBS Evening News, terror in Israel and Lebanon on day 2 of a deadly mini-war. And tax time in America, a reality check on cheaters inside the IRS.
Fibercon or Metamucil? Both give you the same predictable regularity, the same natural action of fiber. So what makes Fibercon different? With Fibercon, I get my fiber in 2 caplets. Fibercon, fiber regularity that's easier to take.
Honey, are you okay?
Yeah, relax. It's not broken.
Does it hurt?
No, the doctor gave me Tylenol. Extra strength.
Tylenol, the hospital's choice for pain.
And it's working great, Matt. The car, on the other hand.
All right, we're going low-fat, fresh turkey, lettuce, tomato on wheat. What? No best foods.
Now you can eat low-fat and still have great taste with Best Foods low-fat mayonnaise dressing.
It tastes so delicious, you won't believe it has only 1 gram of fat.
What? No Best Foods?
Best Foods low-fat mayonnaise dressing.
Bring out the best foods and bring out the best.
The U.S. State Department tonight is calling on Syria and Iran to help stop attacks on Israel by pro-Iranian militants in Lebanon. Israel struck back again today with a barrage of deadly airstrikes. Middle East correspondent Bob Simon is covering the conflict on the Israeli-Lebanese border.
The second day of the war opened with a crash of Katyushas on Kiryat Shmona. The car was at an intersection when the rockets hit. A woman inside was badly injured, evacuated quickly by helicopter. Prime Minister Perez toured the town. If there's no peace in Kiryat Shmona, he said, there will be no peace in Lebanon.
If they thought that Katyusha is a superior weapon, well, we have had to remind them that we have missiles that are better than Katyusha.
Israeli artillery units crossed the border into Lebanon along those dusty roads which led them to so many disasters in the past. The Israelis advised all the people in southern Lebanon to leave their houses this morning before the artillery barrages would begin. The strategy has a familiar ring to it: destroy the villages in order to save them. Save them from remaining Hezbollah sanctuaries anyway. People took the Israeli advice very seriously. They got out of their towns in a hurry, headed north, creating gridlock on the road to Beirut. But the Israelis were bombing Beirut. They went for Hezbollah targets in the southern suburbs. When a Syrian anti-aircraft position opened fire on an Apache, the helicopter threw rockets at the Syrians. 1 Syrian soldier was killed, according to Damascus. A local hospital reported another dozen soldiers and civilians were wounded. Then, when the deadline in the south expired, the Israelis opened up with 155-millimeter cannons. The Israelis were trying not only to make these small villages a lot smaller, but to change the rules of the game. For the last 3 years, Hezbollah worked out of these villages, knowing that the Israelis had agreed not to attack them. That rule is now defunct, and this war will continue for however many days or weeks it takes for new rules to emerge. Bob Simon, CBS News, on the border.
And when we come back, the return of inflation.
When was the last time you played in the rain? Let your hair go wild. Flexed your muscles to the world. Stayed up past your bedtime. When was the last time you really had fun in a car? Riviera by Buick. Go ahead. Express yourself.
It's open. What are you doing here? I'm going out.
I can see that. Do we have time for coffee?
What?
It's Taster's Choice.
Taster's Choice. Rich aroma, fresh taste, right in your cup.
And hold it.
Oh, sure.
Concentrate. Stretch.
Now that I can do. Plump, delicious Sunsweet Lemon Essence Pitted Prunes.
Are you with me?
Sunsweet. Always a sweet idea.
Some people clean their dentures in the daytime. But if you soak at night, get new Polident overnight. Its unique enzyme formula cleans and whitens better than daytime soaks. New Polident overnight, next to fast-acting 5-minute Polident.
This is the Augusta National Golf Club. It's my favorite course and my favorite tournament. It's a tradition unlike any other, the Masters in CBS Sports.
An emotional ceremony in Washington today as President Clinton picked his longtime friend, U.S. Trade Representative Mickey Cantor, to succeed his other old friend, the late Ron Brown, as Commerce Secretary. Senate Republican leader and GOP presidential nominee in waiting Bob Dole calls Cantor, quote, a good choice. The cost of living has taken its biggest one-month jump in more than 5 years. The government today said consumer prices shot up 0.4 of a percentage point in March. So far this year, inflation is running at 4%. That's far higher than last year's 2.5%. So we've called in economics correspondent Ray Brady for an explanation. Ray?
Well, John, a lot of people are fearful inflation may be coming back, and it's being led by the two staples that Americans can hardly do without, food and fuel. In the Chicago grain pits, corn is soaring in price. And at the Kansas City Board of Trade, they actually tussled to buy wheat at its highest price ever. Out on the farm, there's a 6-month drought. So look for still higher prices at the supermarket. 5% more for baked goods and cereals. And at the pump, sticker shock. The average price of gasoline is up 10 cents a gallon over just the past 6 weeks. And in New York, oil speculators are scrambling to buy. The Energy Department predicts gasoline prices will jump another 10 cents a gallon this summer. All this has slowed Wall Street's big bull run down to a walk. The market's off 150 points in just the last week. Investors hate inflation, and they, like consumers, have their fingers crossed. John?
Ray Brady, thanks. A surging year for the stock market, and fresh royalties from an old Tonight Show appearance helped inflate President and Mrs. Clinton's income by more than $50,000 last year. The Clintons' federal income tax returns show they had a total income of more than $316,000 last year. They paid more than $75,000 in federal taxes. This is the final weekend before Monday's tax filing deadline. With that in mind tonight, you might be especially interested to know about some Americans who have been cheating on their taxes and in some cases not filing at all. Here's tonight's reality check by correspondent Eric Engberg.
When it's the tax man himself who messes up on his taxes, his bosses don't take it lightly. The IRS knows how bad it looks when its own people don't pony up.
Our policy is basically zero tolerance.
That means IRS staffers can be fired for cheating. But that hasn't stopped outright chiseling and mistakes on their own returns. Last year, 4,200 IRS workers, nearly 3.5%, were tax delinquents. Amazingly, 434 filed no return at all. 3,800 owed taxes to the government amounting to $8.7 million.
There are some egregious cases, but these mostly are acts of omission.
The kind of mistakes that John Q. Public makes, too.
Absolutely.
Compliance by IRS employees is better than the public as a whole. But ordinary taxpayers we polled outside IRS headquarters think we should expect nothing less than perfection.
I'm very disheartened, you know. I mean, I pay my taxes. Why the heck can't they?
They really don't have an excuse.
They don't pay all of their taxes. Why should everybody else pay theirs?
Former IRS Commissioner Fred Goldberg says the in-house compliance failures point to a deeper problem.
If it's too hard and too complicated and too difficult for everybody at the IRS to get it right, think about the rest of the workers. Think about the rest of the people out there in the country.
The IRS fired 40 of its employees last year for tax violations, and another 1,300 were ordered to go to remedial how-to-pay taxes sessions. It's not exactly an advertisement for how easy it is for the rest of us. Eric Engberg, CBS News, Washington.
A sparkling ship on crystal waters is coming.
Absolutely gorgeous. It was so much fun.
The perfect lobster is coming.
Our waiters, they would do anything for us, any time.
Perfection is coming.
A gift from the captain.
Memories are coming. 7 days in Royal Caribbean's Caribbean are coming. You've got some Royal Caribbean coming.
Crispix for me? Thank you.
Elizabeth says Crispix won't get soggy in milk.
We'll see. Starts off crispy. So far, you're right, Elizabeth, but still crispy. Okay, but reality will soon set in.
Kellogg's Crispix cereal. Delicious corn and rice that stays crispy to the end.
Last bite, gonna be mushy, soggy. Hey, you're so crispy.
More Crispix, Daddy?
Thanks. You're a doll. You too, Elizabeth.
When I was young, Mom was always making sure I ate right. It wasn't always easy. Well, now we're listening to our doctors and taking better care of our health with Ensure. Ensure is recommended #1 by doctors as a source of complete, balanced nutrition. More than a vitamin supplement, Ensure has all the nutrients adults need to help stay healthy, active, be energetic. Drink Ensure as a meal or in between. Ensure. To your health, Mom. To our health.
Now Ensure has a new advanced formula with even more nutrients.
He's one of England's most respected gardeners, Ashley Stevenson, former bailiff of the Royal Parks and Palaces. Ashley, you once were in charge of some of the most famous gardens in the world, and now that you're retired, what about your own personal garden?
It's small, but it's really quite lovely.
You don't by any chance use my favorite plant food, do you?
I was one of the first to use Miracle Grow, and I'm still using it. Miracle Grow makes a tremendous difference. You get many more flowers, and the colors are just brilliant.
Ashley, would you recommend Miracle Grow to everyone?
Absolutely.
How did a musical experiment make it all the way to Broadway and the Pulitzer Prize? Rent, the drama behind the play. Join Charles Osgood this Sunday morning.
Downsizing economic anxiety, Wall Street jitters, a look at a nervous economy and the minimum wage increase. Treasury Secretary Robert Rubin faces the nation Sunday.
In Bosnia today, U.S. military sources tell CBS News a young boy was killed when he stepped on a landmine. His parents rushed to help him, but they too set off mines and themselves were killed. It's a familiar tragedy in a land that's been seeded everywhere with deadly explosives. Correspondent David Martin is with the American troops in the minefields of Bosnia.
It happens all the time in Bosnia. A mine goes off, a young boy is maimed, a father is distraught. For General Stan Cherry, the deputy commander of U.S. troops here, it's not just another accident of war, it's a plague.
We're even calling it mine pollution or mine infestation. There are hundreds of thousands of mines.
Cherry knows what he's talking about. He lost his foot to a mine in Vietnam.
The effects of mines don't stop when the soldiers have stopped doing what they're doing, and that's the bad part.
So each day, now that the ground has thawed, U.S. troops set out with soldiers from the former warring parties in search of the mines that litter the land.
We're marking one minefield here. We'll send you the coordinates as soon as we get the minefield totally marked. Break.
These hills were once the front lines, and before farmers can reclaim the land for their summer crops, it has to be cleared of mines. But even the soldiers who laid the mines are no longer sure where they are. Sometimes all they can do is post a warning. It's nasty work. These Bosnian soldiers came within an inch of stepping on one of their own. American soldiers have strict orders to keep their distance.
I can't go any further north. They won't let me go any further north.
The Bosnian soldiers turn the mines they do find over to the Americans for destruction. A big blast, but very little progress.
Is this going to be a never-ending task? Yes, sir. I mean, I don't see Bosnia being mine-free in your or my lifetime.
And Stan Cherry knows what that means for the next young child who takes a false step in the minefield that is Bosnia. David Martin, CBS News, Tuzla.
Hi. You remember me? Oh, yeah. I bought this sweater, and it got these ugly fuzz balls.
Yeah, and it faded.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. How'd you wash it? Gentle Cycle with my usual detergent.
Right cycle, wrong detergent. Try Ivory Snow.
Really?
Ivory Snow Powder's Baby Gentle formula cleans safely. It helps prevent fuzz or fading on cottons better than leading regular detergents.
Thanks. Oh, forget something? Never.
Ivory Snow. Safe care for the things you wear.
Presenting the possibilities of plastics. Plastics help save you from dents and broken bones. It helps protect my patella. They help save energy.
Thin light plastics, fewer trucks, less gas.
They help save you from being scrambled. They help save the soda. They help food stay fresher.
Brussels sprouts?
Plastics can even help save toddlers from trouble.
And this vest helps save my dad's life.
Plastics make it possible.
Morning, guys.
Just when you think your diarrhea medicine is working.
Oh, boy. What's wrong?
It can let you down. But you can count on Imodium AD to stop diarrhea, often in just one dose, instead of dose after dose, more than a third of a bottle of the pink stuff. And Imodium AD is even better than the leading prescription.
I told you we should have stopped for Imodium AD.
Imodium AD, one dose relief you can count on.
So? He said he wants more control. Oh, boy. Told me he's looking for faster response and more security.
Then he's leaving the firm?
No. He's getting a Cadillac DeVille.
Now DeVille is better than ever, because now it has the North Star system and its extraordinary combination of comfort, safety, security, and performance. Nothing else feels like DeVille from Cadillac.
I suppose he'll want a better parking space, too.
Gentlemen, start your engines. That's not the usual opening line of an election race, but it could be in North Carolina, where an auto racing legend is revving up for a run at state politics. Correspondent Bill Geist has the story of a big wheel in a new role.
Richard Petty was back at the track today, where he became a racing legend. But Petty is shifting gears these days.
I guess we're just proud to announce that we're going to go out and run for Secretary of State of North Carolina.
It's almost like mixing church and state. You know what they call him down here?
The king.
In North Carolina, auto racing draws like church.
He is the king. Hey guys, how y'all doing?
I guess it's like seeing Elvis Presley.
And old number 43 is a supreme being.
He's about like God.
To understand the scope of his popularity, you might want to visit the Richard Petty Museum. See him immortalized in song. But why would a king want to be a Secretary of State? To help the Republican Party, he says.
We think you may be the first candidate elected by unanimous vote.
Okay. Right now, my main concern is getting to be Secretary of State and bringing a lot of other Republicans in with me.
I think he'll have an impact on the Dole Clinton race here in North Carolina.
Hey, guys. How's it going? Doing all right?
So, what chance do Richard Petty's Democratic challengers really have?
What do you wash them moon pies down with?
Mort Hurst says in addition to his city council experience, he is the only candidate with the name recognition to stand up to Petty.
I'm known as the king of all eaters throughout the world.
Hurst is the world collard greens champion, not to mention moon pies.
16 and a half double-deckers in 10 minutes.
Action!
Opponents charge Petty has an unfair advantage in airtime.
What took you boys so long?
But what's an icon to do? Endorsements are Petty's life.
Are you concerned about getting in the rough and tumble world of politics?
I lived through the 200-mile-an-hour tumble, and I think I've lived through the political tumble also.
Petty says there's no truth to all the rumors, that he has plans for higher office.
If he ran for president, we'd vote for him.
Or that he plans to raise the state speed limit to 200 miles per hour. Bill Geist, CBS News, Level Cross, North Carolina.
And that's the CBS Evening News. Now here's Morley Safer.
This Sunday on 60 Minutes, Mike Wallace takes on Louis Farrakhan, the black Muslim leader whose stock in trade is taking on anyone he thinks is in league with the devil. And I'm going to take on a soon-to-disappear British institution whose stock in trade is taking on everybody.
That's 60 Minutes Sunday. Dan will be back again on Monday. I'm John Roberts in New York. Thanks for joining us. Good night.
James Nichols, the man closest to the main suspects in the Oklahoma City bombing. A revealing two-part interview with Dan Rather starting Monday on the CBS.